welcome back to the Grind Season podcast. I'm your host Saint, and look, man, when I started this shit almost a year ago, the broad spectrum was anything music related, either current events or like past reviews is what I was gonna do. That was the range of topics, but I think we've now reached the point where I can't make an episode like that anymore. And here's the reason. Nobody is dropping. Okay, I would have talked about the Saba album today, but I haven't listened to him yet. So that's my fault. I don't know, like I said last time, I don't know if Donda 2 dropped. I don't care. Alright, so other than those two albums, which are the exceptions, tell me who is dropping. I'm not seeing no new drops. So if you want more of those episodes, just tell them to drop, because I have nothing to talk about. I'm sitting here like the last two episodes reviewing albums and mixtapes that came out before I listened to hip hop. Okay, so it's really gotten to this point. And it's not a good scene. I talk every single time about the quotation marks Kendrick album, if there even is an album. It seemed like for a while there, it seemed like it was dropping soon. Now, I've lost hope. It'll happen when it happens. This podcast is produced by Grind Season Media, and as well as on Spotify. It is available on the Grind Season Media YouTube page, which I'll be honest, there's not much content on other than this fucking podcast, but there will be soon. We're thinking of doing, well, I mean, it's been a while since anybody has had a conversation about it, but we wanted to put Urbex videos, we want to put like music reactions and stuff, and like gaming, but not like gaming, more like casual, like I show speed kind of gaming, like it's more funny than it is gaming, because if you want that shit, go watch Markiplier type of thing. Like that's not what we were planning. But yeah, so none of the people in the group have gotten around to that except me with the podcast. And I'll be honest, I've been lazy too. There was periods like late 2021, I think between like September and December of 2021, like 50% of the episodes I made on this podcast are in December. I'm pretty sure. I was lazy. I admit it, but we're back. 2022, interesting start. There is a certain conflict that I will not mention by name, in fear of being sort of getting that keyword on there and then this being flagged, which I know it pains me to my very core to censor myself like that, but I know how it works, okay? And especially since this is going on YouTube now, I don't want to, piss off the YouTube fucking algorithm gods. I don't, you know what? Personally, I don't really care, but I don't want it to get flagged. That's the thing. It's just a bummer to deal with. So are copyright strikes. You know what? This is unrelated, but I feel like if copyright infringement was enforced and there was like jail time, I would have a life sentence. I probably committed 30,000 counts. It's ridiculous. If you think about, if you make any sort of music, if you're in music, you're gonna commit copyright infringement. That's not, bro. Just downloading loops, chopping samples, like in the eyes of the law, it's not technically legal if you release it, but that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. That's a whole discussion for another time. That deserves an episode in and of itself. Is, the current day state of copyright law as it relates to music, I guess. I feel like I could talk about that for a while, but we're sitting here talking about YouTube, which I've been around like creating content, again, huge quotation marks around content, but I've been making YouTube videos since 2014-ish. What I used to do was I'd take my fucking busted up iPad mini 2, right? I prop it up in front of my 2015 fucking Dell, slow ass Dell laptop. I don't know what model it was, but it was always slow even back then. Even when it was new, it was not exactly state of the art technology, we can say that, but I'd have that little setup. I didn't know how to do a screen recorder, and then I'd upload the video of whatever I was playing from my iPad onto YouTube. And that was on a channel that I deleted all the videos on. And then the current channel that the Saint channel where I post my beats, that was a kind of a side reactions channel to the main thing that I was making back in the day. And then I just rebranded it. I deleted everything and started the Saint Beat stuff. So that's the story of that. But yeah, I would do, and sometimes it would be with other people who for some reason didn't mind the janky fucking setup. But yeah, but I used to do Minecraft. Oh, that one, the Henry Stickman games. It wasn't even a game that you download. It's like on one of those fucking cool math games kind of websites where it's like a Flash player basically. It's a Flash player game. I think I played all of those that were available at the time. I did that on YouTube. There was this one game called GeoGuessr, which I found out about from fucking Vicstar, and I made a couple videos on that. And the last time I checked, you have to like pay, like you can do one round free, and then you have to pay to do more, which is like atrocious, honestly. I don't know why. You just put ads on your shit. Just put the Google ads. Sorry, I forgot how to English for a second. If I feel like a lot of things would actually be better with ads, as opposed to you get to do this fun thing one time per million hours, and if you want to do more, then you have to pay $29.99 for our pro version that you will almost guaranteed forget about and or not want to use anymore, type of thing. That I run into that a lot, and it's annoying. So just put ads. Not that anybody who makes those decisions is listening to this, but I'm just saying, right? YouTube has actually changed a lot over the years. I remember back then I wouldn't get I would have music in the videos sometimes. I wouldn't never get. I feel like the content ID for how the algorithm like detects music that you use in your video and then sends ad revenue to the copyright owner. I feel like that system has gotten better, and I can't get around it. And if that was something, if let's say I sampled Otis Redding song, I made it into a beat, I rapped over it, and I put it on YouTube. Do I want to pay Otis Redding? Absolutely. Do I have the money to go hire an entertainment lawyer to set up the sample clearance? No. So what I propose is they do a system where you can just do it yourself. It's like, I don't know, declaring your stuff at customs type of thing. Just do it yourself. Some people obviously would find a way to take advantage of it, but I mean, it would just make life so much more convenient because, again, I don't have the bread to go clear my samples. When it's, you know what, the audacity that YouTube producers have, and there's definitely some YouTube producers listening to this. I'll tell you this. The fucking audacity you have to have in your description of your beat, samples used. Sample clearance is to the discretion of the rapper. Listen, I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't have the bread to go hire a lawyer to do that. And I have zero clue how to do it myself. And I'm sure the people who write that know that. So I don't know what's going on with that. I've never put that in any of my videos. I still haven't set up like a payment system for if people want to buy my beats. I've had offers. I've had shout out Slim Profit. He used one of my beats. That's on Spotify. That's all good. But yeah, I don't have a payment system, so I gave that to him for free. But yeah, it's interesting, man. YouTube, the channel that, if you're listening to this right now on YouTube, it would be on the Grind Season Media channel. And the graphic design for that was supposed to be done by someone else. I forgot about it. I asked someone else to do it, and I just did it myself. So if you think it looks shit, blame me. If you look at the profile picture for the channel, I don't know what I was thinking. It looks like the logo for an evil spy agency, which actually, now that I say it out loud, it's kind of sick. But that's immediately what comes to mind. It looks like an evil conglomerate. But yeah, I could potentially post this on my Beats channel, but I don't know what to do with that channel, because it's kind of hit a plateau in terms of growth. I had this one video I did a remix of the song Lovely by Billie Eilish and Khalid, I don't know. I did a remix of that. It popped off. It gets decent daily views still. When I say decent, like in the hundreds. And then I did a slowed and reverb of Solitude by Billie Holiday. I guess the first name Billie is good to me for some reason. But yeah, those two videos on my Beats channel are the money makers. And they aren't even beats, which is, I'll be honest, a little insulting to me. But yeah, I guess I have no reason to complain though, because that is what's driving the little, not even close to being exponential, the very small sloping quotation marks around growth on that channel. So I'm assessing my options as to what I can do. So video essays are really popular right now. Music ones, maybe like a couple years ago, that was more the shit, but there's a lot of people, and you get them in your suggested all the time, in your recommended, like To Pimp a Butterfly analysis, Good Kid, Mad City analysis, blah blah blah, shit like that. You tend to see that a lot more than you did before, and it's kind of like a formula to that now, which people could disagree with me on this, but I'd say the formula of the YouTube video essay was really solidified by like old Wendover Productions videos. So this guy would, and he still does, but he makes video essays on like geography and like politics adjacent topics. Yeah, that's a decent description, and it's very formulaic. It's lots of stock footage, stuff like that. Just from my perspective, he was the first person I saw to really do it like that, in a digestible sort of way. And then obviously it's branched out into different avenues. But if I had to pinpoint who, I wouldn't say popularized, but who laid the foundation, because Wendover has been doing it a while, and I guess we could add CGP Grey to that camp, because he's been going at it for like 7-8 years now. I remember watching his videos maybe 5 years ago. Damn, it's been a while, right? Yeah. So in terms of video essays, I'm looking into making one about, actually I won't say, because there's some greedy motherfuckers who steal topics. Would they be listening 14 minutes into a podcast? I don't know, but I'm not going to take the chance. But I do have some ideas. I do have some scripts I'm working on. I have a finished script that has nothing to do with music. It needs tweaking. It needs lengthening maybe a little bit, but it's definitely solid. I've thrown out like dozens of scripts, and I've only just started writing like in the past few years, like writing seriously for like intentionally for YouTube videos, and it's a learning curve. It's a different style, right? But yeah, so I have some stuff like deep in the pipeline, sort of, and that's like I've kicked the can down the road per se a little bit, but eventually, like in the next few months, I'm gonna be coming out with some of those videos, most likely. So there's that. I was gonna say, I came across this thought while I was talking a couple minutes ago, but I saw this. It was a 3 hour um a 3 hour YouTube video essay I got in my suggested about the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. I actually watched the whole thing. It was quite entertaining. I listen. I don't know if it was he filmed it in segments for each game because he went over each game in much detail. All right, but the fact that people produce 3 hours of content now, and that's one video, is just like, how do I keep up? Because I don't have time for that. The longest episode I've ever done here is the To Pimp a Butterfly podcast episode. That was like upwards of 40 minutes, and that felt like I was talking for like 4 fucking hours. And luckily, it's just because I was talking about an album I was passionate about. But 3 hours, like actual 3 hours, and not even close to just audio, like actually animated stuff. And yeah, like you could make 3 hours, a 3 hour video essay on like iMovie with stock footage and Canva graphics. You could do that in like a couple, maybe like 3 weeks if you work every day, right? That's maybe a reasonable figure. But this guy had game clips, interviews. He filmed himself. He had like written like complex skits to go along with it. He had animations. 3 hours. This guy made a movie for YouTube. Like, it's just crazy what people are doing nowadays. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I appreciated it. I used to watch those game theory, Five Nights at Freddy's lore explainer little videos. And I haven't seen the recent ones. I'm assuming he still makes it because those are up there with the most popular series on that channel, MatPat. But yeah, I used to watch those in school when I should have been like taking math notes or something. And then I also watched Narcos in class. You know what? There's a pattern there. It honestly, man, it is what it is. Okay, but I used to watch the MatPat ones, and there's this YouTuber called Smike. I have no idea if Smike is still around, if his stuff is deleted, if anyone remembers him. I watched him, and of course Markiplier. I don't I don't play Five Nights at Freddy's. Haven't in 3-4 years, and I don't watch it on YouTube anymore. But I did see that Security Breach release, and I watched Markiplier play. A lot of people, I feel like, got reintroduced to Markiplier briefly because of that series. He's still sort of funny in like a nostalgic, sort of goofy way. He screams a lot. He's very charismatic, childish, but he seems like a cool guy, a genuine guy. So it was entertaining to watch. If it was anyone else, literally anyone else, I probably would have turned off the first episode. But Markiplier is like, he's pretty good. And the game itself is interesting. I never thought that Five Nights at Freddy's would go in that direction. It's like it's an open world game, but it's all inside, so it takes place in like a pizzaplex sort of. How do I explain this? If you've ever been to a trampoline park like Sky Zone, the squirrel one, whatever, if you can picture that, it's like that, but it's a giant pizzeria and much larger than a Sky Zone. But that's the sort of vibe that would be given off of a place like a pizzaplex. It's like an arcade slash. It's like a indoor amusement park without the rides. We'll go with that. And it takes place in that, and you play first person as like a kid who wants to get out and has enlisted the help of Freddie Fazbear, or the new version of him, or whatever. And Freddie is like the good guy now instead of the one biting your fucking face off. And everyone else is trying to kill you. So it was interesting. It's a lot of new characters. I don't know if they were introduced before that, but I didn't know who they were. There's a crocodile guy and some fox. I don't. It wasn't Foxy. It's some other fox. And or maybe it wasn't a fox. I don't know what that shit was. Roxy. I don't know what Roxy is. And these are all animatronics, by the way. If I'm sorry if you have no idea what Five Nights at Freddy's was or is, the last like 7 minutes might have been really confusing for you. Listen, it's a video game. Just picture Chuck E. Cheese gone wrong. That's what it is. All right. So yeah, Markiplier series. Yeah, it was. I watched the whole. I did finish the series. It was decent. I don't regret watching it. It was a little like waste. I should have. It's not a waste of time. I should have just, instead of watching it back to back to back in two parts, like I watched half of it, the first half back to back to back, and the second half back to back to back. I should have just like segmented it up smaller and watched smaller pieces. Because by the end, I was like pretty fatigued of the whole series and of Markiplier again. But yeah, and honestly, that's one of my. It's simultaneously one of my favorite video game series and one of my least favorite. And I say least favorite because as a kid, when I was younger, I was terrified of it. But it was still, I think the lore is what interested me the most. And I don't know where the community is at with that. I haven't looked at any Reddit pages, which I assume there would be millions of in regards to the FNAF lore. All I know is from the MatPat videos and playing the games myself, but there's that. I haven't played this. I never finished the second one. I did the first one, the third one, and the fourth one. Sister Location, I've never even seen it on YouTube. I don't know, but I know it exists. The VR one, bro, you could not pay me to play a VR version of any horror game, much less one where there's robots trying to eat your face. Okay, you could not pay me to do that. I've seen compilation clips of Markiplier playing that. Listen, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. Because at least when you're playing a horror game on the computer, you can kind of jump back and you're sitting a safe distance from the perceived danger of where your fear is derived from. If VR is you're trapping your eyes in a fucking box that's strapped onto your face. When you turn your head, you're looking around this virtual environment. I feel like that would be 10, 20 times more heart attack inducing. Like, that sounds awful. I would not play that. But I appreciate the concept. Because while I wouldn't play it, if I was in charge of making the games, I would definitely sure as fuck make it. Because that's an excellent idea. And I'm sure it would be very scary. I'm not going to play it. Definitely not going to play it. I sort of want to, but I know I would regret it, so I'm not going to. But yeah, you could not fucking pay me. And then, so, Help Wanted. No, not Help Wanted. Security Breach. That's the one in the Pizzaplex that I was talking about a minute ago. That is the latest one to come out, I'm pretty sure. And, that's all I have to say about that series. Listen, man, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't know how long I talked for. I don't know how we ended up on Markiplier and Five Nights at Freddy's. Listen, I just go off the top, okay? This whole, I don't know how many hours of this I've produced, maybe like 3.5, 4, but all of it has been off the fucking cuff. I don't edit this. I don't go back and listen to it before I post it. If I say something stupid, then either I'll clip it out if it too like unnatural to keep in, or I'll just start over. If it's like 3 minutes in, then I'll just start over. But I don't. Yeah, half the time I don't know what I'm saying. So I don't know how we got here, but I know it's gonna end here, and I will see you next time where we will maybe talk about something music related if you motherfuckers get these people to drop an album, because I can't just what am I gonna get? I'm gonna get on here and say no one dropped. Bye. Like, literally, there's nothing there's a couple singles to talk about, and it's not even that notable type of thing. So I will see you next time, where we will hopefully talk about stuff that this podcast was made for. Until then, peace out.